Our story begins at the Swordsmith village. Instead of Hantengu, the first Upper Moon Kokushibo and the fifth Goiko would be deployed to the location of where humanity creates its swords used to rid the demons lurking the lands. The first arriving, he'd sense a familiar presence to him, and at that, it was the strongest out of all nearby humans. Moving like a shadow throughout the forest, Muichiro would be faced with the disgusting creature before him. Gripping his newly gifted katana, the boy's hands trembled by the power emitted from the demon. He could barely breathe from the shock and pure fear. Boy, become a demon. You are a descendant from my bloodline. It makes no sense to die right now. Do not be remembered as wasted potential. The demon's words echoed in his ears. Realizing it was death or this new fate, he reluctantly accepted the deal to the slight excitement of Kokushibo. Falling to the floor, clenching his chest, memories flooded to his mind. The regenerative abilities of now being a demon healed his once fuzzy mind, flooding images of his brother and his parents. They wouldn't approve of this. Vowing in revenge to his family, Muichiro would eventually right his wrongs. The first would leave immediately with the new recruit, believing that Goiko could easily handle the village, which he'd later be wrong about. Nevertheless, the two would be transported directly in front of Muzan by the Binwa woman. Being quite pleased by this switch, he wouldn't even question why they left the village. Swallowing this disgust in his choice, he'd have to get used to eating humans with his ancestor, with the threat of being killed himself if he didn't. The strongest Upper Moon trained with his descendant, taking a slight fondness out of him, feeling a bit closer to his past. Our scene skips to the Hashira training arc. After a few months of getting to know his fellow comrades, he'd tell Hantengu the location of Nezuko was at the Butterfly Mansion. During the Upper Moon meeting the same day, the fourth would pass the information to Muzan lying to him that he got this intel himself to receive full praises from the king. Muichiro, observing the whole crew, would know that Hantengu couldn't help himself from lying. Rallying all Upper Moon, they'd be transported to the location expecting a trap. Right away after getting there, they'd all feel something was off. Jumping out of the hidden positions, every member of the demonslayer corps attacked. The devils teleported completely into a garden of Whiskeria flowers drenched in liters of Samene's blood, making them severely weakened. What Muzan didn't know was that Muichiro was still communicating with the demonslayer corps throughout his crow, passing intel on every demon's capabilities, planning this for months. Absolute chaos would emit. Kokushibo cursed the young boy's name. The war began between humanity's greatest hope and its worst nightmare. This would end with the demons eradicated. There'd be many losses to the humans, but way less compared to the original timeline. The once former Miss Hashira would take care of himself with a random Nichi blade from a fallen slayer, to the sadness of his friends, ridding himself from this curse, finally avenging his loving family.